this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a layout, the start of a couple of layouts actually that incorporate some beautiful beach photos that we got taken from the Marine Corp Base there on Oahu. Since my husband is retired Army, we had access to be able to get on that base, and we were able to go and get some really great shots. There had been a little bit of a storm, not a huge storm, but just a little bit of rain ahead of our visit to this area, and you can see the clouds, and you can see the sun rays breaking through the clouds, and it was just gorgeous. So hopefully my layout will reflect how beautiful the photos are. We'll see how it turns out. Let's check out my workspace and get started. All right, so this is my workspace for today, and you'll recognize this page is the right-hand side of the layout that we did at the end of our last time together. Today we're going to do something sort of similar that we did last time we were together. Not exactly, but we are going to try and do two two-page layouts today, which are a little bit connected to each other, and that's why we're going to be able to hopefully do essentially 4 pages. And so I think you may have caught on when in the introduction I said we were going to be doing some more beach photos that I actually have a lot of beach photos. I don't know if it's possible to go to Hawaii and not have beach photos. If you have ever been to Hawaii and not taken pictures at the beach, let me know, would you? Because we didn't end up with very many what I would call a typical sunset photo from Paradise, but I have a lot of photos from different beaches at different times. So these photos are not of people and not of animals, but just of the beautiful ocean and the majesty that is there. I have, as our base pages today, we're going to use 2 sheets that are identical. They look like sand. And, sorry, I just dropped. I'll have to find that. Oh, there it is. All right, so that's gonna kind of sit over there. So these 2 pieces that are sand, they look like sand from the beach, are made by Paper Studio, and it just says sand photos. So if you want that number, look in the description for my video. It'll be there when I fill out the description. But for right now, I'm going to cover it up because we're going to glue this down and adhere it to our page. That's going to be our base sheet. Now we're going to use some shimmer paper on top to decorate the sand. And so I've got sand that's going to go on each one as my base sheets. It's not too far away from the natural page I already am working on, but does have a little texture to it. These are the photographs that are going to go on these 2 pages, and you'll notice there's only 4 of them, but these were the favorite photos other than the ones we used on the layout last time from this area of private beach on the Marine Corps station there in Oahu. And so I blew up a couple of them. These 2 are 5x7, these 2 are 4x6. And you can actually see some of the surfers in this picture. But we're going to do some decorative things on top of the sand layer that are gonna carry over into the next 2 pages, so that we only have to cut this paper once, we're going to cut it several times, but we're going to use it on 4 pages. So it's going to work really nicely if I do it right, and hopefully I will do it right. Okay, so I'm just going to move these out of the way just temporarily. We're going to just scoot them over here. I have a template that is from old CM. I don't know if you're familiar with this particular one. Honestly, I don't remember the name of it. When I got it, I was just a customer, so it didn't matter to me. And I didn't write it down anywhere. I have no idea. So if you know the name of this template from old company, if you would be willing to share that in the comments, I would love that, so that people who are, tuning in to the video will be able to find one on an in search of site, or I don't know, but at least they will know more specifically what they're looking for. We're going to use this one today. You could use any of the jumbo templates, and if you've been paying attention, then you know that Creative Memories has recently come out with an additional template that they brought one back from old company, and they created another one that is the polar opposite. Like the wave that was on the outside is on the inside now. I think that's right, or maybe it's vice versa, but anyways. So that's kind of cool, and I really hope that they bring back some of these other larger jumbo templates, because they are a lot of fun and they are very versatile, and you can do a lot of really great things with them. So we're going to do some great things with this one today. Whenever you are starting to cut with one of these templates and you want to get the absolute most out of it, and since I'm using shimmer paper, I certainly want to get the most out of my shimmer paper that I possibly can. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to cut around the outside edge as far away as possible. I'm going to cut from the outside to the inside so that I have the largest piece and then a slightly smaller piece, and then we'll do the same thing on the inside. Sort of the same thing on the inside. So with my rotating cutter, if you don't have the new blades, they rotate. Can you see how that turns? So I don't have to rotate my hand. My blade is going to turn as it needs to. But as we go around these curves, we're going to need to go a little bit slower just to make sure that we're not skipping. Okay, so I'm going to put my 2 little feet in the channel that goes around the outside of my template, and then I'm going to just guide my blade. I have 2 papers stacked on top of each other, and they are going, so I'm going to cut the same design for 2 different pages. So I'm just going to take my time as I go around the corners, because of the fact that they are rounded and a little bit fussy. Not a lot, but enough that I want to make sure that I'm cutting that carefully. Now, when I get to the area I started from, I am not going to move my template. I'm going to leave it right where it is. Some advisors will even tape their template down so that it doesn't move, which is something you certainly could do. And it would definitely make this process a little easier. You would just use maybe some of that blue painter's tape, I've heard works well, because it doesn't stick. Like, you can remove it much easier when you're finished, which is awesome. And my blade looks like hopped over a couple of spots down here. So I'll go back over that and just trim it up just a little so that it's good. So don't wad this up. We're gonna save this piece to use on another layout. So just set that piece aside. Now what we're gonna do is take our red blade, which is as close as we can get to the template, and we're gonna go all the way around the outside with our red blade, okay? You can see, looking at the blades, that the red blade is the closest, or is closer to our cutting surface than the blue blade, right? And the green one is in between. So very carefully, we're gonna just go ahead and keep our template right in the same spot. We're gonna put our teeth back into the template with our red blade. And it looks like I missed the teeth. Doggone it. Come on, work with me here, thing. There, okay. I'll need to kind of smooth that out, I think. Maybe we'll just angle that so there's a photo over it or something. So we're just gonna do the same thing we did with the blue blade. We're just going over it very carefully. I just recently replaced my red blade because my red blade is the one that I use by far the most. And I was having all kinds of trouble with it tearing paper. And so I got a new one. The new one works so much better. It's amazing, right? I'd never replaced it before, so, you know, it's understandable. All right. So we're coming around this corner. See, it just skipped again. So let me just go back and catch what I know did not cut. Coming around the corner. All right, let's see if we can lift that piece off. Come on. Okay. Perfect. Except for this little piece up here that I chewed up just a little, but we'll fix that. All right, so we've got that piece. Now I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. I'm going to come in with my blue blade on the inside, so I'm cutting as far away from the template as possible. And we're going to go around the inside of the template. Make sure those feet get into the trough so that the blade will move smoothly. And then just once again, we're going to go very slowly around each of these corners. You really don't get much of a curve. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not, but there's not very much of a curve on this farthest in using the blue blade, which is the one that's the farthest in. All right. So I'm just holding on to my template to make sure it's not moving. So we've got that piece. I'll just set that over here. Now we're going to come back in with our red blade and make one more cut, and we're going to go all the way around with the red blade. Okay, so here we go. Whether we use all of these pieces or not, time will tell, but I think we're going to use 2 of them on one layout and 2 of them on another. I think my template moved just a little bit. So it is a good idea to tape it down so it's not going to shift, but I think I will be okay with it the way it is. Okay, here we go. So now we've got 5 different pieces essentially out of one piece of shimmer paper, and now we can do a lot of different things with this. So let's take a look here and decide what we want to do. Okay, so for now I'm just going to kind of gather these up and scooch these over, scoot my blades a little bit out of the way. How'd it go?
It went good.
Good.
I'm tired.
Yeah. So my youngest just went and registered for college. Well, it's a continual school, so she's finishing up some credits. And she brought me a snack. You rock.
Because I got the 8 count, but usually we share the 8 count, so I left 4 for you.
Thank you so much.
Open marinara sauce in the mozzarella stick bag.
You are the bomb. Diggity. Do you know that?
Yeah.
All right, so what we could do is we could just put this guy down, and then we could put this guy down in the middle in our photos. Or I'm gonna just move my photos out of the way here. And so we can see a little bit better. Or what we could do is we could use, hello, I'm disrupting everything. That's so me. I'm like rather like a bull in a china shop. There's that. What if we took this one and, you know, sometimes I would just like it if things would just kind of roll with me. Okay, what if we put this one, and I'm, for the time being, I'm just leaving all the pieces kind of together, and made that a little more like a frame. And we could put this one in the middle, so a little bit different. Or we could put this one could put this one in here like so, and just have that little bit of sand around the outside. Let's see.
At the drive-thru window,
Yeah.
I literally only ordered mozzarella sticks. She seemed kind of happy to have somebody only order one thing that's super simple. And I was like, thank you. She was like, have a good day. Like, genuinely happy. And I was like, oh my gosh. Also, I'm going to take this time that you're taking a break.
Or we could even add this one in. Well, no, I wouldn't want to add that one in because it's too much like this one. But we could take this one off and just have this one, which I think I did just a second ago. I think maybe we'll save these for another layout, and we'll go with these two for these 4 pages. And yeah, so this one, it is interesting how this kind of, when you have a small piece like this, how it can look, come apart. It can look cool to be kind of overlapped like so. Just an idea for another day, because I'm not going to use it this way, but kind of cool. I like it. Okay, so I think for this first one, I'm going to save these. I'm going to save these two here on the left for the second set of layouts that we're going to do. So I'm just going to sort of set them to the side over here. And these two we're going to do for this set. So we're going to do both of these just like so. Or we could turn it and do something kind of like that, which would be a little bit different even. I think for this first time around, I'm just going to leave it the same. So like that. All right, so let's get these adhered and then we'll work with photographs, okay? Bear with me and I'll just speed this up so you don't have to watch the whole thing. All right, so I'm just about done with this second side, and I just wanted to point out something that I've figured out while doing this. A good pointer is you don't have to put adhesive all the way around. In fact, it's kind of easier if you don't. You'll notice on this second one, I only put adhesive on the corners, and it actually went on much better. This particular piece of shimmer paper is slightly shorter than the sand paper that I was using, and or that I am using. So it's easier to adjust if you don't have sticky everywhere on the whole piece. On this smaller one, I just put it on the corner arches, which makes it much easier to stick it down and not have it catching on multiple things as you're trying to center something. All right, so this one is down. Now we're gonna take a look at these photos and kind of decide how we want these to go on. I think I want to make a mat for the larger photos, and I already have mats for the smaller ones, because if you remember, I had in our last video, I took these mats right here, oh dear, off of off of the last layout that we did. And so I'm going to use these for my smaller photos. And I will refresh my memory as to exactly which collection this came from, so I can tell you in the description of this video, in case you are wondering and wanting to find it. since it has failed to come back to my memory. So I'm just adding these. These are 4x6 photos, and you can see there's an extra 1/4 inch on the mat. So it's a 4.5 by 6.5 inch mat that I'm using around these pictures. And I love how the colors just complement. Mostly these photos were chosen because, and the reason I had so many pictures from this area was because of all the different colors you can see in the ocean in these photographs. I was just enthralled with seeing all of those different shades of aqua and blue and just all coming together. I just thought that was the coolest thing. All right, so I do have this paper right here, which we had used in our other, in the layout just before this one. We could use this, although I just feel like a darker color works so much better. So I think maybe what we'll do is let's find a darker, either like a navy blue, or possibly a darker kind of aqua blue. Let's see what I've got. Okay, this is Island Waters, which would be interesting. This is navy. I kind of like the navy just because I think it blends with these mats a little bit better. But I do like the way this photo jumps off. It accents. This color frame just completely accents and pulls that color out. So when you look at it, it's the first thing you see is this beautiful turquoise blue right here, which I love. It's not the same color as the shimmer, so it would be introducing another color. Now, I think I'm gonna go with the navy. I'm a creature of habit. Sorry. All right, so let me go ahead. I'm gonna adhere these photos, and then we'll trim them down with their mat, and then we'll figure out some embellishments for this page and throw the next 2 pages together, which will come together really fast and easy because we already have the shimmer paper trimmed for them. So those should go together very fast. All right. Okay, and I have a couple of fun embellishments that I thought I would try to kind of put together. These all come from the Serene Waters collection and are just kind of fun elements. Got a couple birds, some little journal boxes where we can make notes. Let's see, I think I might need a sign to kind of stick in the sand. Give me 1 second. Let's see. So this is just some scratch paper that I had kind of laying around. And I'm just going to punch with my signpost and make a little sign that will just give me kind of a basis for a little cluster. And I'm going to just tuck it underneath this corner, which of course I stuck down so well, right? There, let's stick it right there. And then Let that be kind of a base for that, and then we'll use this one over here. I'll probably put way too much adhesive on that, but that's okay. I'm gonna grab my foam squares, and we're gonna give some of this a little bit of lifting. First of all, I'm going to put this guy kind of underneath my signpost here, just to kind of carry some of that similar blue color up into that area. Then maybe what we'll do is put this little sailboat over, let's see if he fits on there. Yeah, he did. Okay, good. If we put our little sailboat kind of with our sunset over here, sailing off into the sunset, and we can put a little bird in there too. I don't have, I'm going to need to cut one of my foam squares so that I can make it work with my bird, because this bird is rather narrow, but I can put a foam square right there on him. Half of one anyway. All right. And then we can kind of have him flying off in the distance. And then what if we use our wave. Put our wave right there. And let's see. What if we had this down here? This will give us a little bit of room to journal, and then we'll have a little bit of a little decoration, little embellishing right underneath there. And since we have our little bird down here, let's add a bird up there. So we'll just stick this other little bird one more of these. So we can put a little bit of half of a foam square on each side of his wing. So we'll just kind of put him right there, sort of flying off. And we'll save the rest of these for the next page. Sound good? So we'll just set those over there. All right, so let's take a quick look at the next page and throw that one together so that we can move on. All right, I'm gonna grab another one of these pages. We're going to, oh, I need my beach base sheets. Okay. Perfect. Now I am going to fix this really quickly because this is where my blade kind of skid that first time around. Okay. And then this one's going to have this guy around the outside edge, and this guy in the middle. So I'll go ahead and get these adhered and then we'll fuss with photos, okay? Super fun to be able to do 4 pages with the same cut pieces, right? Okay, let's take a look at the photos I have for this layout. I have a few additional ones, I think. These photos were taken from the rocks that were located at a different beach, but still on the Marine Corps Air Base. You can see here there were a bunch of, we accessed the beach from over here, and then there were a bunch of really cool rock formations, and the waves when they would come in would make such wonderful sprays of water. Just really, really pretty. Very cool stuff. So I like this one a lot, and I like this one. This one, I don't know, the photo looks kind of blurry to me, which doesn't make me super happy. But I think I'm not going to use that because of the fact that it's blurry, which makes me sad, but it is what it is. Okay, so we're gonna, you can see the surfer guy that was paddling out to get to his wave. I'm not really a fan usually of overlapping a ton of things, but we may need to overlap or cut some of these down so that they are not quite as long. And then over here with this one that we that I blew up. We have these other two photos which were also on the Marine Corps Air Base, but this is the bay right there near the Marine Corps Base. The Marine Corps Base is over here. I can't remember what this bay is called, but I will find out so that I can tell you in the descriptions. And I think I'm gonna grab my trimmer. Let's just trim some of these down just a little bit, because we just don't need all the extra. So I'm gonna just make these either 5.5 or 5 inches by 4 inches. This one's gonna be a 5 by 4. This one's gonna also, I think, be a 5 by 4. So for those of you who've been following along in the series that I've been doing, when we got to yeah, now I'm forgetting the name of it. There was a lookout that we got to that right before we came down onto this side of the island, and it was right up here in this area right here where we were looking down on all of this area. And I want to find that so I can tell you what it was. That's gonna bug me. Sometimes my brain just doesn't recall things super quickly, and it's a little bit frustrating to me. Okay, so I'm taking just a 1/2 inch off of each of these, which makes them roughly 5.5 inches. And that way they're not going to overlap quite so much, which will make me happier. I don't mind if a corner overlaps a little bit, but these were a little bit too much for me, for what I want for this particular layout. So we're not going to do that. All right, so I just took a 1/2 inch off of the length of each of these photos. And then if we were to mat them, I would probably want to use the let's make a little journal space here. If we could mat some of them, I think that would be awesome. I'm also gonna try, let's try to maybe tuck portions of the photos underneath that outline. I just think it's kind of lends itself to being being conducive to, you know, like if you were to put it on a bulletin board at home. Tucking them under like that. It's not a lot. It's just a tiny little element, but it is kind of cool, I think. All right, so let me take a look at what we're going to use to mat this. So I think I'm going to, just for the sake of consistency, I'm going to go ahead and get some navy cardstock. We'll use navy to mat these, just like we did the other page. don't know if we want to mat every single photo, but let's mat the big one and one or two on the other side. That one. I'll mat this one because it kind of shows a little bit pulled back. And then let's do, we'll do this one. Okay. I'm just giving this roughly 1/4 of an inch on either side of the photo. Don't always mat my photos by adhering them first and then cutting them, but sometimes it just works a little bit easier to do it that way. All right, let's go ahead and get these adhered. And let's see, with this green being, if I keep that up there, which I'd like to do, and I think what I'd like to do is tuck that one like so, and then we'll have this over here. We'll do an embellishment and journaling over here, an embellishment here. We'll do some green down here to kind of pull the green over. Totally, it's so funny when I totally redo what I thought I was going to do. Sorry if you were jumping ahead of me and I just changed the game. I apologize. So we got that one like so. Maybe we'll tuck that under there and over. I'll do like that. We'll scoot these up just a little, or scoot these down a bit. Not sure about that top one. It doesn't really tuck very well. Okay, let's see. All right, let's look at the embellishments we have left. We might need to pull just a couple more just to kind of finish this off. And I'm gonna, I think, add some of these guys, just sort of coming up from the back. Let's see if I can find some other plants in my embellishment box to use. That would be a good one. And that one too. Add some surfboards to this one. There's another plant. There's some orange plants. Another sailboat. More water. All right, let's see if that's going to be enough for what we need to do. Let's add this orange guy right in here for a little bit of color. And then we'll stick him in kind of like here. Then I'm gonna just say relax across the bottom here. Like so. These, I don't know what you call these canoes that they tend to row in, or travel in and race in, but they are these were parked right outside of an area where we could have camped. We could have paid to stay at a little area there, really close to this area. And this, believe it or not, was the only tiny little beach right below where these were parked. These were parked kind of up here on this berm, and this beach literally was just like 3 or 4 feet. It was just really funny to me that it was so just so tiny, so short. There wasn't much to the beach at all. It was just virtually almost not even there, which I thought was really interesting. So I'm adding the surfboards because we had surfers, as you can see. There were surfers there. And I'm going to add a couple of waves. What did I do with my foam squares? Here they are. So let me pop up a couple of little waves, and then I think this layout is going to be just about there, which you will be happy to know, because this video's been kind of a long one, despite the fact that we've done a lot in this little 45 minutes, give or take. We've got 4 layouts done. Woohoo! And they weren't pre-done ones either. They were brand new from scratch layouts. We should be proud of ourselves, shouldn't we? Okay, I'm gonna just add just a little bit. We're gonna add some of these little plants. And this little guy that says, let the waves roll in. But I'm going to pop him up with one of these that's a little bit bigger. And we're just going to put this guy down here, I think. Right on top of that picture. It'll be all right though. Let the waves roll in. All right. This has been fun. I love making my time feel well spent, and I feel like this has been well spent. So this was the second one we just finished. Here's the first one we did a minute or two ago. Let me know what you think about this process. I think it's a good way to accomplish a lot in not as much time. And I really like them. I think they turned out well. But you let me know what you think, okay? Thanks so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you next time. And until then, I hope you have many more creative moments. Have a great day.